Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon and today I'm bringing you an unboxing teaser preview trailer video for Undo, Weaving Fate Anew, Long Live the King. Now this is in the third trilogy set. This is from the first one. This is Undo, Weaving Fate Anew, Curse in the Past, so it made a nice little box cover grouping there. As you can see, it's the middle one. Over here I've got Forbidden Knowledge, which is the Cthulhu one, which I really enjoyed. And there you can see it's also in a set. Obviously it's a different set because it matches up differently. As you can see, it's the first of those three. This is the third one I felt as well. As you can see, this is another new set, and this has got a queen on it. And yeah, long live the king. Let's see find more about it. Obviously, it's still by Michael Palm and Lucas Zach by Pegasus Spieler. If you want to check out my videos for the others, please check out my Pegasus Spieler video playlist. Also check out my playlist for, I think I'm going to do one for Undo. There's also one for escape rooms. So if you want to check over 20 different exit games, there are some unlock games in there. I played 26 unlocks, plus many other different things such as Escape Tales and numerous other ones, Detective Society and other things. So, do you want to have the best gaming experience possible as a Weaver of Fate? Take your time to immerse yourselves in an unusual story. Don't jump to quick conclusions, rather develop theories of what might have happened. Look for evidence on the reveal cards. Stay flexible and be prepared to reject your own theories. Newly revealed cards will sometimes reveal contradictory information. Work together to discuss and to make your final decisions. Only then will you be able to successfully weave fate anew. So if you're not familiar with this series, what we'll be doing is there'll be some information present, and we'll be going out and deciding from that information what do we think is relevant. And ultimately we're trying to change fate. If we think, oh well, there's a dog, let's feed the dog. Well, actually that's probably what people would have done anyway. So you don't want to do that because ultimately someone's died. In this case, the king has died. We do not want that to happen. So I don't know, imagine there was a dog. Then we need to make sure we're doing something different. That might be to follow the dog. It might be to, who knows, make up a roast with the dog. Who knows? In this instance, the mission leads you to England in the Middle Ages. This is quite detailed, but I'll talk to you in a moment. You can pause time and jump to specific moments in the lives of the deceased to relive their threads of fate. Will you be able to change the events and thereby undo their tragic death? So let's have a quick look through and see what we have in here. You'll have 9 opportunities typically to go through time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No changes there. So those are those 9 chances you're going to have to go through time. There might be opportunities to get more or less. It might depend, who knows. They sometimes mix things up a little bit. We also have 4 clue cards, which I'll talk to you in a bit as well. We have various things going on here. Oh, we have rumour cards. This is new. So like I said, all these cards are always different. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have some information on the back. I just quickly flick, but I don't know what's on the other side. Here we have the various information here. So if you happen to reveal the card A card, the 1 card, then there are 3 options. There's going to be 3 for the 2, etc. And then why we do that is ultimately, are we going to choose option A, which might be good or bad, option B, which might be good or bad, option C, equally the same. Sometimes they make no difference. Sometimes there's only one that's good and the rest are bad. Sometimes the majority are neutral. Who knows? So some of these are going to go slightly out of shot, but it doesn't matter. And yes, if you are enjoying this content, please hit the like button. It's best to like it in Facebook or maybe in YouTube in particular. YouTube is best because this is where ultimately this information has all been hosted. Aside from that, if you can add your comments, that'd be fantastic. And now we know all these cards are complete, these can kind of just go away for the time being. Put them in one stack. It is a kind of one shot, or having said that, I think I have played some of these more than once because you do forget stuff. You're not going to recover everything. Of these, in this instance, 11 places, you're only going to be going to perhaps 9 of them. So you could read through everything afterwards, and I have done for the other games. And yes, you can forget because sometimes you're going to make the same mistake. And of course, you can relive it, or you could, of course, swap them around. For these rumour cards, like I said, we've got these time token cards and then extra clue cards. So these might be something to do with rumours. So what else do we have here? These cards are pre-sorted, so there might be something new here, we're not sure. Here are these various locations. We have father, we have injured person, document, vial, the Pope, 2 Hail Marys, medicine, bee, letter, thoughts, knife, chalice, figure. So there's, like I said, there are 13 different locations, it sounds like. So they're pre-sorted, you don't need to follow the rest. The tragic loss of a beloved person leaves nothing behind but grief and devastation. You are Weavers of Fate. As a team, you can pause time and jump to specific moments in the lives of the deceased to relive these threads of fate and thereby undo these tragic deaths. While on a mission, you can only alter brief moments of their lives, and hopefully your selective influence will be enough to change the deceased person's actions to direct them along a better path. The next mission your team must solve leads you to England in the Middle Ages. This game is made up of large and small cards, well, we've seen them already. Continue reading over. So, very easy to set up. We have 5 rules cards. These are these cards we're talking about here. The 13 story cards we've seen. The 5 solution cards, we've talked about that briefly. That's going to be the back of the set here. So once you finish the game, you'll see actually what the story is all about. The small cards consist of the various things we've seen, and we're now going to flip that over, and you're going to create a display in the center of the playing area with the large cards as follows. So first, place the 3 rules cards face up in the stack. Then we're taking those 13 story cards, which I'll be doing in a second. Then you can leave enough space to those clue cards, which I'll talk about in a moment. And now you're going to turn over the story tiles 12 with the 4 additional luminous candles to begin the story. So we're going to continue doing this, but firstly, we're just going to take those small stacks. And as you've seen, I have already separated out the 9 time cards and the 4 magnifying cards. All rumour cards are face down for the time being, and we're placing those 33 dex cards off to the side. Now, like I said, the reason why I'm double checking everything is just because they sometimes tweak it from one game to the next. Very, very minor tweaks, if at all, but of course it's important to be aware of it. So let's make sure we have now got everything else we have got here. That after picking an option, you're going to search for that corresponding fate and see with the one you're going to pick it, and make a note to see of your final score. After reading the story card carefully, discuss which of the options to take. You can gain additional clues. You may discard 1 magnifying card to the box. So, and I think that's it. So they've kept it nice and straightforward for this one. And yeah, the changes you have made also occur simultaneously. And you're now going to shuffle those 7 rumour cards and distribute them to the players. It is normal that you will not receive the same number of cards. Silently read the rumours you have received, but don't reveal them yet. Very interesting. If you think that rumour might be useful at any time during the course of the game, you can reveal it and read it out loud. So, interestingly, we're going to have rumour cards. Now on your turn, you can undo your fates. The rumour thing sounds amazing. 3 years ago, the King's private chamber. There's autumn 1253 in the early evening. So we have this here. We have one on the castle walls 6 months ago, March 1256 in the moonlight. So 3 years later. We've also then got mid-April 1256 in the evening. 5.5 months ago, the Tower Room. So that was 2.5 years later. In the forest, end of April 2056 in the morning hours in the forest. We have the forest. The audience chamber in the beginning of May 1256 in the afternoon. We have got in the confessional, end of June 1256 midnight. That sounds interesting. In the stable, also interesting. The fact that's come afterwards. So maybe it's declaring love. Who knows? At the end of July 1256. Beginning of September 1256 in a messenger bag, so I have 2 months ago, 3 weeks ago in the morning, 2 weeks ago in an abbey in the mist, mid-September 1256 and nightfall, a steep cliff, 16th of September 1256, that's 8 days ago at sunset, 5 days ago in the Tower Room. So down here we have September the 19th, 1256 at dawn, 5 days ago, like I said, and in circumstance of death, so here we go, we have a death, and what we normally do is sometime after death as well. So the Royal Banquet, September 24th, 1256 in the evening. And we're going to place that there for a second because we also have this one. 3 days later, place of execution. Oh my goodness. Then you have the final story, which we're leaving uncovered. So it does say to reveal card 12. So let's make sure we just double check everything. Yep, story card 12. We're now going to turn that over. So whilst I'm doing that, I'm just going to start making sure I put everything away as I have been handling them. So those are the story cards. We're now revealing card 12, and it's going to tell us circumstance of death. The Royal Banquet, September the 24th, 1256 in the evening. Despite the sumptuous dishes, tension fills the air of the Great Hall. Numerous guests have accepted the invitation to the funeral service for the late Queen, and now await the morning King's eulogy. After all, he is now without heir to the throne, and many of those present sense an opportunity for themselves. When the king finally rises, there's a hushed silence. He raises his chalice. I'll talk about these bold ones in a moment. They're basically clue tokens. You have 4 of them that you can use. And lets his keen gaze wander from face to face. A few of you are here to mourn my beloved wife with me, the king begins, and takes a sip from the chalice. Suddenly he begins to cough and put his hand to his throat. He collapses, knocking food from the table. A murmur goes through the crowd as orders are shouted frantically for aid. The king is carried out of the hall in a hurry, and minutes of dismay pass. Then the personal doctor emerges and announces to all, the king is dead. So it does say that continue reading on the card R4, but we have already covered that off, and that's whereby you are taking separate stacks of cards. So based on this, you're thinking, where do you want to go? So, well, we do have these clue cards, so I tend to overlap them, save space. So if we wanted to, we could go to the King's Chamber, and or we could be inquiring about the father. There's 4 clue cards. Generally speaking, I find it's handy to maybe look at the clue card once you've gone to the location, in case the clue card might help you with your decision. So we could go to the father, with the injured person. There's a document around here. This doesn't mean the father is in the king's private chamber. It just happens to mean it. Maybe they've got another son or a brother. We have the Pope over in the audience chamber. We have 2 Hail Marys in the confessional. We have medicine, so maybe they want to reveal some information. B, that sounds very interesting. Letter, Abbey in the Mist. We have thoughts at a steep cliff. To make sure it's in sight, let's move up a bit. We have knife, we have chalice. So maybe they know something's in the chalice. And finally, figure. So very excited about playing this game. I've had it for quite a few months now, and very excited because I personally think it's a very clever idea. Yes, it is, you might say, linear, and it's definitely a role-playing game, and there's only a couple of people who don't seem to like it, but those who do have really got into it, and I, for one, have definitely enjoyed, and I've definitely ranked all the other games so far. So I think as part of my review for this will be to talk to you about that too. So again, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and that notification bell, and also that share button, etc. Keen to know your thoughts, what will be on this one, this, I think, 9th Undo game. I don't know if there's going to be another one, but I do know they've changed the name at least once, I think. Long Live the King is the current name, but I think The King is Dead was another title that I had seen. So leaving that set up for when I do play it, so I hopefully find this of interest, and now back to the table.